Right now, markets are down, portfolios are hurting, and investors are scared. Not too long ago, I was one of them. My account was down over 20%. I panicked and sold off multiple positions, including my entire VTSAX position, $11,473 worth of Vanguard's total stock market fund. Sold it while it was down. It was the wrong move, plain and simple. If you've been watching your portfolio drop lately, you're not alone. A lot of investors are hurting right now. But today, I'm going to tell you exactly what that mistake cost me and walk you through the 5 things that you should actually do when your portfolio is down 20% or more. The first thing to do when your portfolio is down big is also the hardest. Don't panic sell. Let me tell you the details of what happened to me in late 2022. The market had been falling most of the year. My account was down well over 20%. Everywhere you looked, recession headlines. Wall Street analysts were practically tripping over each other to predict how bad 2023 was going to be. I got nervous. I went into my Vanguard account and sold $11,473 worth of VTSAX. I sold because the headlines scared me and I convinced myself I'd buy back in at a lower price. But here's what actually happened. The recession never came the way everyone predicted, and 2023 turned out to be one of the best years the market had seen in a long time. Suddenly, I had a new problem. I didn't know when to get back in. Every week felt like I was either too early or I'd already missed it. That paralysis cost me big. My cost basis on VTSAX was around $77 a share. Today, it's trading around $160 a share. Even after being down so far in 2026, that position would have more than doubled. That experience taught me something I think about every time the market drops now. You don't just lose money. When you panic sell, you lose shares. And those shares were going to recover with or without me owning them. VTSAX holds over 3,000 companies, the entire US stock market. It was going to recover, and it did. I just wasn't holding it when it happened. So here's what to do instead. Step away from your brokerage app. Delete it from your phone if you have to. Give yourself a mandatory waiting period before making any moves. 24 hours minimum. Most panic sell decisions look very different after a good night's sleep. Write down exactly why you want to sell and what would have to be true for that to be the right decisions. Chances are, when you see it on paper, the logic falls apart pretty quickly. If we haven't met before, my name is Steve, and on this channel we talk about practical investing, ETFs, and how everyday investors can build real wealth over time. I share my actual portfolio, my actual numbers, and occasionally my actual mistakes, like the one I just told you about. If that sounds like your kind of channel, stick around. Okay, once you've talked yourself off the ledge and decided not to panic sell, the next question you need to ask yourself is this: what do I actually own? Because what you own completely changes what you should do next, and most investors never stop to think about it. Let me break it down in 3 ways. If you're holding broad market ETFs, something like VTI, QQQ, SCHD, VU, the SPY, or SCHD, you're not holding one company, you're holding hundreds or thousands of them. When the market dropped in 2022, those ETFs fell too, but the underlying businesses kept operating, they kept generating revenue, they kept paying dividends. The price dropped, the value didn't vanish. That's a hold, and depending on your situation during dips, you should probably be buying and increasing your position. If you're in quality, profitable individual stocks that are just out of favor right now, companies with real earnings, real cash flow, just caught in a broader sell-off, hold those with confidence. Historically, buying more of quality companies when they're down big has been one of the most reliable ways to build serious wealth. The market tends to find value eventually. It always has. But if you load it up on unprofitable companies, meme stocks, or speculative bets near all-time highs, this drop is important information. That's not a time to average down. That's a time to seriously reassess what you're doing and why. This is exactly why I built my own investing foundation around 3 core ETFs: VU for broad S&P 500 exposure, SCHD for dividend income and quality companies, and QQQM for growth through the NASDAQ technology. That foundation is what gives me the confidence to also invest in individual stocks, crypto, and real estate on the side. High-risk positions I'm comfortable taking precisely because the core of my portfolio is already rock solid. It's not the most exciting portfolio in the world, but when the market drops 20%, I'm not losing sleep over what I own. I already know what I hold and why I hold it. And that foundation is what makes every other decision on this list possible. So here's the practical step. Open your brokerage account right now, not to trade, just to look. Next to each holding, ask yourself one question: is this something I'd be comfortable buying more of today? If the answer is yes, you're in good shape. If the answer is no, or you're not sure, That's your homework. Now that you know what you own and you're confident it's worth holding, keep investing. But I want to be clear about one thing. Keep investing into quality. Buying more of something broken just because it's cheaper is not a strategy, it's hope. Those are very different things. When you're buying quality, broad ETFs, dividend growers, fundamentally sound companies, a market drop is essentially a sell. Every dollar buys more shares than it did a month ago. I've been running an experiment on this channel for over 800 days, investing $5 every single day into VTI and SCHD, rain or shine, up markets and down markets. When the market dips, those daily contributions automatically buy me more shares at lower prices. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to time anything. I just keep showing up. Here's the practical step. If you don't already have automatic investments set up, set them up today, even a small amount. I do $5 a day, but $25 a week, $50 a month, whatever fits your budget. Automate it so the decision is already made before emotions get involved. When the market drops, your automated investments keep buying, whether you feel good about it or not. The next thing to do during a market drop, and this one is super important, is to revisit your time horizon. Ask yourself honestly, when do I actually need this money? If you're investing for retirement that's 15 or 20 years away, a 20% drop today may not matter nearly as much as it feels like right now. Short-term drops feel enormous when you're checking your account every day. But when you zoom out and look at decades of market history, most of those terrifying moments become small marks on a much longer upward chart. Here's the practical step. Write down your actual timeline for each bucket of money you're investing. Retirement fund, how many years away? Kids college fund, how many years away? Emergency fund, well, that one probably shouldn't be in the market at all. Now, when you assign a real timeline to each dollar you own, a 20% drop looks very different. Most long-term money has plenty of time to recover and grow well beyond where it is. The last thing to remember during a market drop is the big picture. Market declines are uncomfortable, but they are completely normal. Over the past several decades, the stock market has survived corrections, bear markets, recessions, financial crisis, and a global pandemic. Every single time it felt like things might not recover, every single time they did. Here's a practical step. Go pull up a long-term chart of the S&P 500. In fact, I'll do this with you. I'll put the chart right here. Take a look at the 2008 financial crisis, the scariest market event most of us have lived through, and look at where the market went after that. Find March 2020, when the market dropped 30% in weeks. Now look at what happened next. Every drop that felt catastrophic in the moment looks like a small blip on a long-term chart. Bookmark that chart. Look at it the next time you're tempted to make an emotional decision. The investors who came out ahead weren't the ones who perfectly timed every move. They were the ones who didn't panic, who knew what they owned, kept investing into quality, and understood that time was on their side. Volatility isn't the enemy. Reacting emotionally to volatility is. So the next time you open your brokerage account and see your portfolio down 20%, and you will at some point in the future, remember these 5 things. I'm curious, have you ever panic sold during a market drop and regretted it? Drop in the comments. You're probably not alone, and honestly, it helps other investors to hear they're not either. If you found this useful, consider subscribing. My goal on this channel has always been simple, honest, practical investing content for everyday investors who are serious about building wealth over time. And if you want to see how many shares of the ETF SCHD you need to own to retire tomorrow, check out this video right here. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.